Tiny house hot tub, propane fired in the middle of nature. This is it right here. I built this from scratch. I'm going to show you exactly how to make one. Pretty nice. It is beautiful out here. There's nothing quite like taking a bath outdoors. I saw my friend Chris, the capable carpenter, make one of these hot tubs. He did a wood-fired one, so he built like sort of a secondary shell around the exterior here, and then you build a fire in that. It heats up the hot tub. I took a little bit of a different approach. Mine is propane fired, but let me give you a little bit of a rundown of how this thing is put together, and then we'll fire it up and we'll show you how it works. Just kind of for decoration and ease of use, I added a little bit of a wooden deck here, but the basis of this is a bunch of cinder blocks. That's what the perimeter of the tub is sitting on. And I did a little bit of, you'll see this gravel down here. I kind of created a bit of a gravel pad to level it, put the cinder blocks down, and then the tub resides mostly on those cinder blocks. The deck is sort of an addition. It also resides on some cinder blocks, and it's just a nice, easy way to get in and out of the tub, and you put your towel there and so forth. Now, the tub itself, I've got a pool noodle in the back here to make that more comfortable. And then on the inside, because it's heated from underneath, I created this sort of raised platform because I didn't want to sit right on the metal. So all that is the two pieces of wood that you see there is just a pressure treated 2x4 that was ripped down the middle. And then on top of that are just simple slats that are connected to those pressure treated 2x4s. I cut the corners obviously to make it fit in there. And since it's wood, if you filled it up with water, it would float, and you don't want that happening. So that particular thing is secured with these screws right here. So I have a screw on either side that holds this wooden grate in place, and that is where I sit. I spaced them out a little bit closer to each other in the back here because I generally face that way, and I didn't need it to be quite so tight at the foot end. Now, is that not a stellar view right there? Look at that. I'm right by the creek, and this resides right next to my tiny house, which is right there. Well, you're seeing a propane tank here. That hose goes in through one of the cinder blocks. Let me show you what's happening underneath this hot tub. All right, so when you tilt the hot tub out of the way, what I have here is a 3-burner cooker. Now this was designed as sort of a camp cooker. You get huge pots of spaghetti to feed 100 ravenous kids with or something like that. And it was a little on the large side. So what I did, this cooker, by the way, is available on Amazon. I'll send you some links to that in the description. And I just basically lopped off an entire side of the cooker here. The cooker had some burner knobs over here. I think those have long since melted. And it's effectively in the on position. And there's the propane tank, obviously. Now, lighting this is a bit of a bear and a little bit on the scary side. And it's probably a good point to add my disclaimer here that only build one of these if you feel comfortable doing this. I assume no liability for any injuries you might incur. This is a little bit dangerous. You're dealing with propane. Chris, the capable carpenter's version of doing this with a wood-fired element is probably safer. The way that I do this is I light these burners. I tip the tub back into position. There is a drain plug, by the way, on the tub that's currently out, as you can see. That screws in. That's this right here. Because once the tub is being filled, it obviously can't be moved anymore. So drain plug goes in. And then what we do is we light the burners, tilt the tub back into place, and immediately start filling it with water. Those burners cannot be relit, and what I do is I monitor the temperature of the water in the tub. This is a 100-gallon Tractor Supply galvanized feeding trough, and what I do is I fill it to the bottom of this indentation. That probably represents about, oh, I don't know, close to 70, 75 gallons. It takes a good, I'm going to say 30 to 40 minutes to heat that water up with these 3 burners going. I monitor the temperature of the tub, and then once it's the right temperature, I throttle back on the propane, I get into the tub, and then if it gets too hot or too cold, I can still modify the flow of the propane a little bit, which is definitely a distinct advantage over doing a wood-fired version of this. And once the temperature is at the right point, I'll just completely cut the propane off, which I can reach from inside the tub. It takes a long time for 75 gallons of water to cool off effectively, so that is plenty sufficient to take a very comfortable and cozy bath. So let's do the ignition sequence here on these burners so you can see what that looks like. This is the scariest and most dangerous part for sure, lighting these things. Well, let me show you how I do that. All right, so as previously indicated, this next step is a little bit perilous to get this thing ignited. Well, one, you gotta have your water source ready. And 2, you don't wanna be anywhere near this thing when it lights. What I do is I get a little bit of a fire going on 1 or more of the burners. And once that's there, we can turn the gas on. There we go. Just gotta get that last burner lit. There it goes. Woo! All right. So that's rolling. As I said, there's some gas leakage where the control knobs used to be. Now we want to dial this in a little bit more. Get a pretty hot flame going there. All right, there we go. Now we tip this into position on top of these cinder blocks. You don't have a lot of time at this point. You want to get water flowing into there right away as it starts to steam. You're off to the races. So my water source is located up there, and you see this pipe that runs across the valley here, wraps around these trees, and basically comes in right here. So what I'm doing is I'm capturing water on the other side of the valley in some 55-gallon drums, food grade. This is also the water source for the house. So what I do is I disconnect the house effectively, and then I take that rather large pipe. This is like a 1-inch pipe, and I use it to fill the tub with. Now I'm pretty lucky because there's obviously a pretty strong flow there. We're already at about, I'd say about 20 gallons at this point as the tub continues to fill. But yeah, then like I said, I wait till the tub is approximately at around right here. And once the tub is filled to the proper level, it's really just a matter of waiting for the water to warm up. All right, let's call that full. Pull this out of here. Shut the water off. And now we wait. Do 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 dip do 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 boop 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 boop. All right, so this is, you know, you get some leaves in here. Not a big deal. Pretty nice. Temp is good. The sun is shining. What more could you want? Maybe a cold beer? Yeah, that'd be nice. Actually, a cold beer would be good. There's nobody here to bring me one. That's all right. Hillbilly, redneck, hippie, hot tub, propane fired, in the middle of nature. Doesn't get any better than this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the thumbs up button if you liked it. Please be careful if you're going to do one of these. Know what you're doing. If you're in any way feel uncomfortable with putting one of these things together, then don't do it. All right? Just let somebody else do it for you. That's my advice to you.